Hi chat. Oh, where's my model at? Hmm. Um. Settings. Um. Hmm. This is weird. But I am noticing already that I can't find any mention of Sprout 2 anywhere on my thing. There we go. Found it. Just needed to turn it off and on again. Because that works. Okay. For personal reasons, today's stream is going to last 1 hour long, rather than 2. Most likely. It is possible that that decision is reverted, but for now that's what it's looking like. And if this lag keeps up, that's not going to help my case in making it any shorter. Or longer, I mean. So, I think the thing that needs to be done is the deflattening of the chapter 3 map, right? You can see there's like a bunch of like terrain over here, and then I don't know how I got down here, and it's very difficult for me to get out right now. Right? Over here we've got like this little hilly bit, we've got this bit here, we've got this bit here. Like, there's obviously lifted lands, but then over here it's very flat. But then over here there are like not a lot of like this sort of mountain. You know, there's only a few of these like at all to begin with. How do I push? F. I need to change its collision. Collision. Doing this on 500 ping is not helpful. But it's fine. Okay. If I have more mountains just sort of like that in spots over there, that will help. But the other thing I need is more hills, like even like having lifted lands like expand to more locations, or having this sort of terrain expand, having more height and depth in some places. That will help a lot. Like, I think what this place is missing is my internet connection. That's what it's missing. What's pull? Let's see. Please, game. Yeah, if I add more of this, essentially. Please, game. Game, we don't have all day. We already are doing a shorter stream. Hello. My internet connection is not helping me. If I add just more stuff like this all the way over here, and more stuff like this all the way over there, then that blend of it everywhere will be hopefully enough to make the game feel a lot nicer when playing. And then again, there's stuff like over here, how we've got like a little bit of raised land literally once in the entire snow biome. So, we need more stuff like both of these things. And like, these things can combine as well, like the mountains and the like cliffs are not mutually exclusive. In fact, it's actually a very good. Okay. I really, really want to like manipulate how people play the game in this general area to be a lot more intentional. Hold up. Okay, chat. That's okay. Thank you for the follow. How are you doing? I am dealing with lots of internet issues, so I'm sorry if the the stream isn't running too well right now. Chat, what is going on with my internet connection? Hello. How you doing? Okay. This has really changed a lot already. But obviously there's still more ways that I want this area to be different. For example, I don't particularly think people need to be running up and escaping by swimming so easily. Like, especially considering they could swim underwater. So I'm not gonna completely block it from them, but like, there's like a smaller height of rocks. They're sort of there. It will just sort of force players in this area to be a lot more grounded and intentional, I guess. Little rock in there just to sort of add some cover. Because, again, I made a very open little space for people to fight. That's exactly what I'm trying to combat this area already being. It was way too open. I want to see what happens if I fill it in a bunch and make it less open. See where the fight moves to and then patch that area afterwards. Yeah, so I'm just sort of gonna slowly, individually patch up areas as I notice them being places that people actually go to often, where it's so open that fights become boring. Like, if it's like a spot where it's like in the middle of the desert where it's clearly not designed in a way where people are actually supposed to be going there just yet, then yeah, that's fair. Like, I'll let that sort of play out how that goes. But then obviously people know that that's not how that's gonna be forever, so they can't rely on the openness of the desert. But places like this are in the middle of exactly where all of the detailed stuff is, but has literally like nothing going for it. So I've just got to make it have something going for it and make it one of the more denser areas. Because I've noticed this is where people meet. People land over here and spend like the whole game here until the storm comes. People, you know, land over here and spend the whole game there until the storm comes, or over there. But then as the storm moves, it generally speaking closes in and makes people move to this precise location, this little area here. But it was literally just open space. And that is exactly the wrong thing to be the kind of area that people are pushed into. It, like, you know, we don't need people being pushed directly into open space, because that causes boring fights. So, my way of combating it, making this very interesting area that is very unique to where we currently are. Adding a bunch of trees and rocks and stuff everywhere. Mountains and everything. Like, really just making it not the same location that it once was. Again, like, I want there to just be massive rock cluster right here. Why? Because it'll make people stop and think. Yeah, there could be someone on the other side of that rock cluster. There's a mountain, right? Here. What does that do? Makes people think. Let's actually combine this hill area with a few mountains that are going to sort of separate a few different spaces here. I want people to, you know, have to go around if they want to let go of this area. They have to either go through the water or like around the mountain. Like, I don't want people going over here because it's too easy of a way out of combat. It literally is just a little area here designed to block people in to this, like, combat death zone. Where everything that they do, they have to really think about. It's gone from the most open area in the entirety of Vault Wars history to the most closed off and dense area in the game. Like, even some of the forests aren't really as dense as this in terms of having lots of different content. But it needs to be, because otherwise people just, like, shoot each other in the open, and again, not the sort of battle royale that Vault Wars is designed to be. Like, you know, cool, fight each other in the open here and there. I don't want you fighting in the open here specifically, though, because this is where all of the fighting happens. So if all of the fighting happens in an area where fighting is in the open, then most of the memorable fights in the game will be in the open. But then you'll remember all the bad times you died for stupid reasons. But if I make the game play like this in the areas that you're most likely to visit, then you're gonna remember these fights, which are the much more fun and interesting ones, in my opinion. And my opinion is the one that matters, because I'm making the game. Look at this. Is this not the greatest glow up you've ever seen in video game history? This place used to be pretty much a death trap where you would have no cover at all and you would be guaranteed to be shot. Now it's a death trap where you have all of the cover you could ever need, but there's guaranteed to be someone hiding around here that you will need to either fight or escape from, but escaping is not really an option anymore because of how much cover there is. But, I mean, it's like weird in a way, right? Escaping's gotten easier because you can hide easier, but it's also gotten harder because the terrain has gotten much more difficult to navigate. Okay. Okay. What am I doing here exactly? Well, the idea for this area is, well, people are going to want to be upgrading their weapons. I want them to be able to actually do that, because I want to know how it plays out if more people actually use the weapon upgrade feature that I made and spent ages on. Because no one really uses it at the moment, because maybe it's too difficult to find the resources, but maybe it's just because you don't get a break from people. So if I give people the break from people, that could improve usage of the feature, which in terms would make me happy. Yeah. What more could you do to make this area difficult to navigate, but super fun to fight in? Well, you could add a few more bushes for people to hide in. I might also add some like vault keys to this area. But like, I'm just really thinking now, right? Especially now that I seem to be able to play the game properly. You know, you land over here, right? You're doing great. I'm gonna need to like get a vault power or something. Yeah, let's like focus on like getting a Volcar and stuff. Okay. I need to find a vault key. Because I think opening that will get rid of my weird glow that I have, that I can't figure out why I have it. Okay, well, you see I'm on the map, everything's going great, but, you know, the storm is starting to push me up here, so I'm gonna move closer in this direction. You're going to almost always be pushed into this section here right above Windy Waters. The storm circle center is actually like over here. Right? So it's just naturally one of the closer areas to that, and you know, you're gonna get more storm circles close to that area. I actually, while it is annoying that it was changed, I really like the change that was made to my underwater swimming by Fortnite, where you actually, you know, you're pushed up. So you can't just like stay bulletproof forever. Okay, but this is the area, right? When Fortnite makes first person more viable, this area is going to absolutely slap as well. Like, that area I was just in, very dense, very cool. Even up here, you can sort of see it's exactly the sort of gameplay you see everywhere else. It's quite open, little cover here and there, but like, it's not quite what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for in this area is over here, where you're literally cornered into this area, but there's so much cover everywhere. There's the bushes, there's the rocks, there's the mountains, like, and it makes the terrain feel a lot taller over here, which also, because you can see how tall the terrain is only around you, because it blocks all the terrain around you, like, further away. It makes the map feel a lot less flat just visiting a place like this once in your game. Like, if across a whole game of this, or even if I played 3 games of this, but I visited this area once, that visit would make me completely forget how flat the map is. I want this to be how it's like everywhere. Like, the map is really flat. Like, you're not really going on the mountains much, and even when you are, like, you know, it's not really the same. As, like, you know, if there was actual, like, elevation in the terrain everywhere. But, you know. This area here is sort of becoming my demo for what the Vault Wars Chapter 3 map should be like. It's like, you know, do we have enough elevation everywhere? Well, over here we've got lots of mountains, we've got a few of, like, not a lot of, but still a few of those other little, like, cliff bits. So, like, you know, there's the elevation, right? this amount of elevation I'm gonna see as enough. Right? And like we can get like special with it as well, like over here. It's gonna connect up and it's gonna be very elevated for quite a while. Dawn, welcome to the stream. You are officially and legally first. How do you feel? But then I don't want that to be the only elevation level there is. I want there to be like this level of elevation where, you know, you get up a little bit higher. And I want this area to sort of thrive in that same way. Yeah, legally you are first. You've got the certificate of proof in the form of that Twitch message that I just saw pop up. Okay. And then if I just sort of add more levels like this. This will just sort of finish up this level of elevation. Makes this area look a lot nicer. But now you can see, over here, we have elevation, yes, but we don't have cover. Well, the next thing we can do is add even more elevation in the form of these mountains because they also cover cover. And these mountains can sort of just be added around the edge of all of the existing elevation that I've done. But then also, I can probably add a few, like, yeah. Possibly here and there around other places as well, depending on how things go, really. Like over here, we're just sort of in the middle of this section. I guess we're technically on the edge of this bit here though. But still, we're in the middle of some elevation. We're just gonna add more mountains. Next, we want more cover, but in a way that doesn't look like we've just built a mountain range. So we're going to start with the massive trees. They just sort of get added sparingly around the area. You have Miku Racing, Peak. Piku. Okay. So, once you've done the big trees here and there, you just sort of go a little more crazy with small trees. But you don't want to go too crazy still. Okay. Like, you can already see how much of a difference having the elevation and the trees has done to these little areas in the Vault Wars map here. And we want to really hone in on that idea that, like, there is cover in this game and that you can find it very easily. In fact, the cover is more likely to find you. I don't want people being, like, you know, stuck in the open too long in this game, because that doesn't lead to fun fights. What does lead to fun fights is where you can sort of, like, play in this sort of playing field. But wait, there's more. This, again, it will make the map look a lot nicer. Add more cover. And add more height to the area. But not only is it more cover, it's a different type of cover. Right? The mountains are sort of seen as completely unavoidable walls. Like, sure, you can climb over them, but, like, you're not really supposed to be completely capable of. These are supposed to be walls that you can get around, but they're, like, more of just, like, a little guide. Sort of helping you work your way around the map. Whilst also limiting you as to where precisely you can be. Like, for example, right? You do not in any way need to go between these two rocks to get through here. But it's gonna make people want to go between the two rocks to go there. And you know what that means? It means that you can sort of easily work out, like, you know, strategies based around that. Like, oh, well, people are going to go through this exact spot, so I'm going to be ready to fight people in this spot. Like, yeah, you can mantle around here pretty easily. You can get on top of this one. And obviously you could just go around the mountains as well, but people don't think like that all the time. And sure, there is a tree here that will sort of defend you a little bit, but not a lot of it. Okay. Cool. Bushes. People are gonna be able to hide in this general area. Not very well, because again, it's low bushes in Vault Wars, and there's not many. Like, there's lots of bushes, but they're very, like, low, easy to see around. But the quantity of bushes is what's supposed to sort of get you on your toes. Like, you know that it's kind of difficult to hide in there, but there's so many that what if you just miss one when having a look through? After all, you're not really looking very thoroughly. And again, there are so many bushes in Vault Wars, especially this chapter, that it would almost be stupid if you saw and checked every single bush. But you know that if you don't, someone's gonna be in the one you don't check. And that is how you turn the most painfully open area in the entire game into the most interestingly dense area in the game. I toggle the overlay. Okay. And chat. That is what we are doing today. I'm gonna see if Lumisar is live. I know it's early, but again, if you were here at the start of the stream, you did hear me say that we'll be wrapping up a little bit earlier today. So, let's see if Luma's live. And just like that, probably yeah, starting soon screen, probably for about 3 minutes. Oh wow, uptime, 3 minutes. Look at that. What we'll do is we'll wait until Luma gets out of the starting soon screen. And once Luma is out of her starting soon screen, we'll send you guys over. Okay. Luma's layout is so pretty. Everyone give Luma lots of support. And if you missed our raid from the other day, it was Luma's birthday recently, so if you haven't said happy birthday to Luma for the other day, then, you know, do say so. Okay. Come on. Come on, Luma, go live so I can raid you. I know you'll be ready. Oh, here we go. Luma's live. I'm sending you over chat. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye now.